Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Graybeard Gaming Podcast. Yes, I'm David Alexander. How are you?
Graybeard Gaming. Okay, welcome to or back to the Graybeard Gaming Podcast. I'm your host, Scott, and I hate candy corn. As always, I have with me David. Liam may show up a little bit late. We don't know where he is. We think he's fighting zombies currently. But today, we're going to talk about Dragon Age Veilguard, Firewalk Studios, and probably some other stuff. And when we get into this, it's Christmas. Halloween is over. It's officially Christmas. My tree's in a box. It's going up like as soon as I get done here. And
pumpkins and squashes are being put out on the steps of people's houses.
Stockings. People are wondering, it's like,
stuffed.
oh, thanks for inviting us for Thanksgiving. Why is your tree up? We got that last year. It's like,
oh, okay.
Get the fuck out of here. You don't like my tree. We like to do it early. We like to squeeze every bit of Christmas out of
Nice.
life. Even though I may still be cutting the yard and it's like 82 degrees outside. Look, that tree's going up. Santa's in the yard. I just cut around Santa with a weed eater. So.
Yeah, it's been unseasonably warm over here by me, but today is freezing. So
I'm jealous.
it's that's how you get sick.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you go outside and it's like, nice
It's
and
80.
balmy. Yeah. And then the
it's
next
50
day.
the next day, and you're like, oh,
Right. And it's so funny when it's 85 and then it goes to 50. That 50 feels like 23.
yeah.
And you're like, what the hell? I need a jacket. And then like 3 days of 50, you're like, I'm not even wearing a jacket. Screw it.
That's like when you drive from Florida and you go up north, and then you reach this threshold where it's freezing. Like you hit that state that it's freezing, and you get out to get gas, and you're like, holy shit, you're wearing shorts.
Yeah.
And you're like, fuck, it's freezing out here. Holy shit,
Yeah.
what happened?
I know, right? I drove to Colorado one time, and it was in July. And we went way up, into the mountains. And I'm driving, and I'm looking over. I'm like, why is my window fogging? And I roll the window down, and it was like Arctic weather.
It was
I'm like,
ice,
it's
yeah.
July. And my eyebrows are frozen. So,
You
good
had a
stuff.
t-shirt on. You were like, fuck.
Yeah, I'm like, and I'm thinking
Coats in the
like,
trunk.
right? No, I'm thinking like, I am not prepared for this trip. Like I'm dressing like Southern, July,
Yeah.
and I'm going. So yeah, I had to buy a jacket when I got there. That was cool.
Nice.
A real touristy one with like where we
Little
are
souvenir.
on the back of the jacket.
Yeah, Colorado.
Yeah, like guess. Am
Yeah,
I a
guess who the
tourist or
tourist
not?
is?
Right.
It's right there.
Loads of fun,
Nice.
but it
Yeah.
saved me from freezing to death, so that
Freezing,
I can be here today and talk about gaming. So, I've got a big I've been playing. So let's go over yours first. What have you been up to?
Oh, I've just been playing Call of Duty. You guys got me addicted to it. You guys
Zombies.
basically were like, try it. Everybody's doing it. you passed the joint, and
Yeah.
that was it. I was hooked. So yeah, even the wife has been playing it late at night with me, and but the games are long. Like we'll play a good 30-round game, and then we'll be like, we can't do it anymore. Like
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
What
What did we make it to? Like 37?
I think we made it. Like 36 or 37. Yeah, it was.
And that was
crazy.
like,
and then
that was like 2 hours.
yeah, and Liam's like, oh, it goes up to 250, and Gina's like, 250.
Yeah. It's like, I think when he said that,
Oh
like,
my god.
the blood drained from my head. I'm like,
But we had some good times when we were playing. We had Gina screaming because she had the laser. She's like, res me! I have the laser!
there's a laser. We're all like, oh shit, get her up.
We just started cracking up. Like,
Oh
we
my
couldn't
God.
even, like, go and get her because we were just cracking up. But, I mean, it's funny because I miss those times, of, like, I used to have times like that when I used to play Destiny, or I used to play, like, the LAN parties with Halo.
Oh,
and I used to
yeah.
have-
Oh,
yeah, you
man.
just had these moments where, like, you were playing a game, but you were also hanging out. And I kind of feel like, a lot of parents don't seem to realize that's what you get sometimes when you play video games and you have like a good group of friends you get along with.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I just like when we were playing, I had that moment of like, man, this is something I remember. I mean, I have these moments where I'm playing by myself and I'm getting really deep into the story and I'm like really immersed in it and I feel it. And then the other flip coin of that is I'm playing with people that I care about and I'm having a good time and I'm laughing and we're joking and there's things happening in the game that's just adding to the laughter. And I was like, man, I miss. This is what it's all about, and I miss this kind of stuff.
Yeah. If I could interrupt you for just a second,
Yeah, no.
I talk to people about that a lot. There's a story that I
Mhm.
just read about not too long ago about, and this was I think in like 2007 or 2008, but
Mhm.
there was a guy that he was 24, 25 ish, and I think he had a muscular degenerative disease. I don't remember which
I think
one.
I see. Did he play WoW?
Yeah, yeah. So you know this story. It's like his parents were like, I mean, that's all he did, and that's really all he could do. And they were
Yeah.
just glad that he could do something, but they always were like, God, we just wish he could have friends, and go
Yeah.
out and be. Well, he passed away, and all of these people started showing up at the funeral, and they
His
didn't even
funeral.
know. Yeah, they didn't even. They were like,
And he
who are
had a whole
you?
life.
Yeah,
Yep. He had a whole life
they were
online.
like, we were his friends.
Yep.
And there's not many people that I know that if they passed away now, that many people would show up at their funeral, because
Yeah.
it's something when you meet people online in gaming, for the most part, it can be a little weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you already at that moment you're sharing something that you really love to do.
Yeah.
And that is just really that's the basis of friendship. That's where you start from.
Mhm.
So yeah.
It's very much like like I have people that I know from high school, and it's really because we went through high school together
Mm-hmm.
that we have this like sort of camaraderie history thing,
Right.
and it brings us closer. And I feel like when you meet somebody in the gaming community, you get along with them, and maybe you play with them like every day or something like, or every other day, and or you have a set day you meet up with him and or her, and like if you ever meet that person in person, you would instantly think of those moments and those times you had with them. Like high school. Like I went through. I killed this boss with this guy.
Yeah.
Like I raided this. We did a raid together in Destiny or something, and you immediately have this camaraderie, and it's kind of crazy because it like transcends all your differences. Like it transcends. You don't even think about this person's political affiliation. You
No.
don't think about
Yeah.
whether they're vegan or whatever. You just that's what you guys went through, and you have that history, and like that's what it's all about, really, at the end of the day. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's beautiful, really.
It really is.
It's
It's the
it's
friends
poetic.
that it's the the friends that me and my wife have online. We very rarely talk about like politics or
Yeah.
and when we've had friends that are gay and trans and whatever, and honestly, when you're doing like a Destiny raid, nobody gives a shit who you're voting for. Nobody gives a shit
Yeah.
who you go to bed with. It's like
Right. Yeah.
and I think that's just those things that bring you closer together as friends.
Yeah. It builds
But-
bridges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't mean to hijack your thing. I just
No, no,
it
no,
made me think of that,
yeah.
and that story.
No,
I always like
I
to
as
tell
soon
that
as
story because it's just such a good story.
I mean, you know what? One of the takeaways from that story that I really remember was like I mean, not just that he passed away, but like the real tearjerker was he used to keep logs of his
Oh, yeah.
encounters,
Yeah.
and I remember he ended up in the game. He got a kiss from a girl,
Hmm.
and he just wrote down that like
He logged
was
it,
the
yeah.
closest. Yeah, he was like, "That's the closest thing that I've ever had to a real kiss," and to
Right.
me, it was real. It was a real kiss
Yeah.
that I had gotten, and I mean, oh man, like just thinking about it, it's just like it's amazing, special,
Yeah.
So,
When you see somebody like at a computer and they're doing stuff and they're playing a game and they're talking to people, a
Yeah.
lot of people from the outside look like, oh my God, you're just wasting your time. You
oh
know?
my god, yeah,
And I could say
hate
that
that.
some people, I know some people that are like, maybe you are wasting like maybe
Yeah,
there is
sure.
more to life than this, but it does mean more. It's a deeper experience than just seeing somebody do that. I would always have the arguments like, how much time do you spend sitting on a couch drinking beer watching football?
Yeah.
And how deep of an experience is that? And are you making friends doing that?
Yeah.
No.
Right. Yeah. There's a guy at my job who complains that his son watches other gamers play games. He's like, I don't get it. I don't understand how he watches
Graybeard
other people
Gaming
play.
on Twitch.
Yeah. He watches other people play games, and he's not playing the game. I'm like, well, do you watch football? He's like, yeah, I watch football. I'm like, are you playing
It's the same
football?
thing, right?
I'm like, are you playing football? No. You're just watching. So let me get this straight. You're watching other people play a game.
Yeah.
Right? And he's like, it's not the same. I'm like, it's
the
exactly
same
the
thing.
same, you asshole. It's exactly the same damn thing. And you know how big football is? You know how many people watch football
Yeah.
and they don't fucking play football?
Oh,
They're
I know.
literally just watching people play football.
But they'll say, "Oh, we went to state, or we got the field goal, or we beat so and so." And I'm like, "We like what?"
You didn't beat shit.
Like nobody watches their favorite Counter-Strike team and go, "Oh yeah, man, we got that last dude with the diffuse." We got like,
yeah.
Were you in the match? No,
You didn't.
it's just my team.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
like
You didn't kick that field
there's
goal.
no
you
we
fat
there.
fuck.
You didn't do shit. You drank too much beer and ate pizza and
And you threw up in the morning. From
right,
too much-
missed out time with your kids. You didn't do shit.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so it's like, it's really kind of crazy. I remember dating a girl who was very against me playing video games. That didn't last, but
Yeah, really.
but I remember telling her, listen, like, I have a very finite amount of time on this planet, and this is what I want to do, and I should never apologize for doing what
No,
I
absolutely
want
not.
to do.
Absolutely not.
And that like shut it down after that. She just got mad because she couldn't argue with that
Well,
logic.
some people, and let me guess, she didn't have any hobbies, did she? She didn't have anything that she was like really into.
Yeah, maybe not into that like that. I think.
Yeah.
I think she had things that she liked, but nothing like seriously super important.
Yeah, I find that if and this is just some relationship advice for people out there.
Graybeard gaming relationship.
If you meet someone and they have absolutely zero hobbies, that's a red flag. That is a red flag. Yep. Because guess what? You're their hobby. You just became their hobby, and they're gonna treat you like you treat your favorite game. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, if you got to be into something, you got to have you can't just be 100%. But yeah, that's that happens.
Yeah.
And as far as sports and everything, even Liam loves to watch his football, which is we call it soccer. Right. But he knows the difference, obviously. At least I guess he's not here. But anyway, but yeah, Call of Duty Zombies. Now, have you and your wife played like regular Call of Duty or just Zombies?
No. Yeah, not even interested in playing PvP, not interested in playing. Is there a story? I mean, I don't even know.
yeah, there's a campaign.
I didn't even bother to check.
Yeah, I'm like halfway through the campaign.
Yeah, like yeah. Well, you know what? She's all about the action. It's kind of funny. She's not into anything really story related, and she's just all about I just want to play. I just want to play. I want to play. So even if there was a campaign, she probably wouldn't even be interested.
She's not she's not competitive.
No, she's competitive.
Yeah.
She was like totally into Apex she would play it.
Yeah.
She would ask me to play it.
I remember that. We used to play that a lot.
She was seriously into it. And she's very competitive. She doesn't like being bad at something. Like she's like that ends up motivating her more.
Right.
You know, I always say if I ever want to get her to do something, I just tell her she's bad at it, and she'll freaking do it. I'm like, you can't play drums. Look at you, suck.
I know.
She's
I do the same thing. It's like, there's no way you can make a shepherd's pie. I mean, that's just ridiculous. How would you even like do that?
How dare you even try?
Right. You're just a woman. How you can't even conceive making that.
And then she'll just
and then it's like, holy shit, this is the best shepherd's pie I've ever had.
Yeah. So no, that's how she is. But there's a lot of times when we're playing and like how to play the game or how to do something or what to do is directly tied to the story, and I'm the one paying attention. And we're playing, and she's like, what do I do? Where do I go? I'm like, they just said it 5 seconds ago. Were you paying attention? She's like, no, I skipped that. I skipped all that. Like, you skipped it? You skipped all that? That's the most important part. The main character, like, almost died. What are you doing, And she's like, nah. She's like, I skipped that,
I think, as you're saying that, I think we're actually watching footage of when she came in to Space Marines 2 in our boss fight, and we're like, she's like, "What? How do I do this? How do I do that?" I'm like, didn't you do the tutorial? No, I skipped that shit.
That's the exact. I mean, it was like total Gina. I was like, oh my god, she's joining us when we're doing a boss fight, and she skipped the training part. Yeah, like.
We are watching Gina. It right now.
Total Gina. I'm trying to snipe this freaking boss's. Get headshots, and she's like, how do you roll? I'm like, fuck! I don't need this right now. I don't need this stress.
You roll. I don't know. You just hit button. I don't.
Yeah. Okay, hang on. I need to press start, and I got down. Can you get me now?
We had State of Decay 2. We had the same thing. I was like, neck deep in zombies, and we had just got the game. We're still figuring everything out, and I'm like, oh my god, and of course, then my wife's like, how do you dodge? I'm like, and she's like, are you like, have you ever like, you do play games, or like she said something like to the like some kind of, and I'm like, are you kidding? If you could see my screen right now, I can't process instructions currently.
Yeah.
And then later, I just laughed about it because it was just so funny. Because she had no idea. I was like getting chased and then getting attacked and then getting chased. Yeah. And then no stamina, no health, no nothing. She's like, how do I do this? I'm like, Anyway.
And that State of Decay is like one of those games where like you don't want to lose your character. Like if you have a character you love.
Yeah, you can get attached to characters, and plus what they're carrying is like, and you can.
That guy's got my best gun.
Exactly,
my best shotgun.
You tend to give your favorite character all the good shit.
Yep.
And then when that character, I've lost characters.
When they're tired, go to bed because I'm going to use you in an hour.
Yeah, I'm using this lackey with like a baseball bat and a broken pistol. Yeah.
But that's every that's the beauty of it. It's like everybody plays different. Everybody has their own kind of like different style. And I feel like people argue too much about stuff like that. Like online, they'll argue about, nobody's playing this game and it's great, and nobody's doing this, and how come you're not doing that? And it's just like, man, everybody's got their own. They like to do what they like to do. You know what I mean? Like. Some people like to freaking farm. Sometimes I like to throw on a game and just farm. Like I'll throw on Minecraft and I'll just farm.
Yeah, I do that with Valheim. I mean, I'll just I'm just gonna go get wood. And copper, and
Gina will play Conan with me, and she'll build a house, and then I'm like, all right, let's go out and adventure and get killed. I'm done. I built a house. I don't. Yeah. You don't want to do anything else? No, I just want to build a house, and that's it. And I'm like, all right, well.
I guess you win.
I guess
you beat the game.
And then she'll be like, all right, fine, I'll go out with you. And I'm like, you don't even have a sword. You have nothing. What are you doing?
I got this hammer I built this house with.
Yeah. Do you have any heels? You didn't bring any heels? What the fuck are we doing here?
It's like that. I mean, whatever. I just feel like Gina's that. There's always that one person. Gina's always that one person.
Oh yeah.
It's like, okay, we're here. Everybody ready? Hey, has anybody got a weapon?
Yeah.
What?
Except for like, you know what's funny, because except for like DayZ, like
Oh, she like really
everybody
into it.
will be starving and she'd be like, "Here's an apple." And I'd be like,
Oh, so
"You
she's
got apples? How many apples do you have?" And she'd be like, "I have like 8."
like
You have
all
like
the
8
apples.
apples? How? No wonder I can't find a damn apple. You
Yeah.
fucking, you know, like she's got all the apples here.
Yeah.
And she here's an apple and it's fucking rotten. Of
Yeah.
course, it's just
You
one
can
that she
have
wants to
this
get rid
one.
of. I'm gonna throw up after I eat this fucking thing.
God.
Yeah, nah, but like, yeah, she takes that game seriously. She doesn't fuck around. Probably because there's no story.
Well, yeah, yeah, and you know, even with the new zombies. I can't remember the one. You probably know the one because you play zombies more. Which one was it that had like Jeff Goldblum and like all of these actors, all of these celebrities in it?
You're talking about Call of Duty.
It was a zombies, yeah. It was a zombies mode, and it was. I hated it. There was like a fun house or something. It was just really just goofy. Like, I know it's a little bit goofy, but they were laid heavily on the goofy, and then they hired all these actors to come in, and you're playing like I'm, you know, when I'm thinking like killing zombies,
Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum really just does not come to mind, you know, as a playable
So,
character.
when are
But
you gonna, have you
like,
killed
yeah.
any zombies yet? No.
right, so these are these are the undead. Oh yeah, okay, I get it, yeah. Yeah, so you like you cut their head off. Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So wow, that's that's kind of crazy, isn't it? No, I don't think of that. I mean, I think of like, you know, where's like John Cena or you know, a digitally remade Bruce Willis. You know what? I mean, just got really goofy. Yeah. But this one, I like it. I like it's just your character from Call of Duty. You can play in first or third person, which I feel third person really helps. You can. The map that we play, Liberty Falls, is really open, and you can keep moving. That's what I like about it. There's not really anything that like stops you. Like in the previous maps, it's like, oh shit, I backed into this corner. You know, I'm screwed. You can continuously move. And I think it showed. I mean, that was probably the longest zombie match I've played that I can remember, to level 37, and and that was when, God, like all but one of us was down. It got really close several times. So I'm really enjoying it, but I have to be caffeinated to play it.
I think we could have kept playing if we didn't die on the exfil. Which is, you know, I don't know. They make that exfil like so hard. I have yet to actually have a successful exfil. So
yeah, especially on the roof where you're very confined, and it's like it just
and they
pours
they
everything
throw
on top.
every zombie at you. It's like not even. It's like
I wonder if what's the orb, the thing you throw down and that shoots out.
The special.
Yeah, I wonder if it's just we all threw one of those down.
Yeah,
simultaneously. Under the helicopter, and just maybe, I don't know.
I think you would probably need. Yeah, I think you would probably need like to time it better. Like maybe you throw it down, and then I wait 5 seconds. I throw mine down.
Yeah, see, this is the stuff that I like in zombies. I don't like so you shoot the crow 5 times, and then when it makes this noise, you go over here and you do, you know, like the stuff that. I don't. That's not fun for me. That's like, you know, it starts to, like I said, get kind of goofy. I'd rather just be like, hey, let's survive a zombie attack. Yeah. When they seem to be like the population of this small town is like 6 million. So, but yeah, we got to, I think, level 37. And
I like the zip lines. That's fun.
Yeah, the zip lines are fun too because you can get out. You can, you know, out of the frying pan. Into the fire, back into the frying pan, or shoot from above. Yeah,
I remember it was like maybe the, I don't know, 3rd or 4th time we played, and I was getting pretty good at it, and I forgot to set it so that it was just me and Gina playing. Like you could set it so that you don't have teammates, but these 2 people joined, and it was like clearly like a father and son, and his son was like real little, and they were talking. And they all died. Everybody died, and I was the only one left. And I was like zipping around. and they were like, wow, look at this guy. He's on beast mode right now. Holy crap. I didn't know you could use the zip lines. Oh my God.
What?
And dad, he's crazy. He's crazy. And like, I finally like killed everybody. And then like I got on the mic and I was like, hey, what's up, guys? I saved you guys. And they're like, oh, wow, you're amazing. And then I was like, yeah, you're playing with your son and I'm playing with my wife. And they're like, no way. And I'm like, yeah. And so we had a good time. We were playing. I was showing them, you got to go here and you got to pack a punch and you got to this and you got to that. And no, it was a lot of fun with the zip lines, showing them how to use the zip lines and stuff. So
yeah, that's cool.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. It's funny. It's a completely different experience, like going to the multiplayer.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Big time.
Yeah. It's get called names and stuff. But again, I think that I think co-op games just either bring out cooperation and helpfulness and just a better I guess frame of mind is for lack of a better term than playing completely competitive. But it also, I think it draws like some people, like you said, Gina doesn't care about the multiplayer, but she'll play zombies.
Yeah.
I think it's different people are drawn to multiplayer than co-op experiences. Because I know people that only play like Destiny 2. Like, have you done this? And like, no, man, I only play PvP. I'm like, God, that's like the worst game to play. It's like if you're picking a PvP game, holy shit. But whatever, and they don't know anything about the lore or the raids or the story. They only play PvP.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think they're missing out. But yeah, it's co-op should never go away. I think it's just the best thing in gaming. And this zombies is cooperative. You have to work together. There's not a lot of things there. The previous ones have always felt like it starts and then you got one guy's like, I'm gonna go get this thing, and he goes running off and gets killed, and it's like, why did you just do that? This I think is paced a lot better. Even the other level. What's the name of the other level? There's Liberty Falls, and then there's I just call it Pain.
I don't even know.
Yeah. It's really confined and small, and
you're in like a tunnel.
It's a prison, and then
I played it one time and I was like, I have to spend some time trying to figure out how to navigate. That's really what it is. Like, once you understand the map and how to navigate it, you have a much easier time. Like, I'm gonna go here. Sometimes, like, Gina will stay in that corner where you have to get the armor, where that level 3 armor is. And then I'll see people over there, and I'll be like, "That's the kill box, man. You got to get out of there." Like, there's no place to go from there. There's like literally 2 exit points where that armor is by the cemetery. But I was like, "You guys got to get out of there. Like, I'm not saving your asses over there. Like, it's hard to get you from there. You know." And then of course somebody will get down, and I'm like, "Fuck,
I got the laser."
But I got the laser. Don't let me die.
Right.
Yeah. But how, to your point before, some developers will make a PvP game like Rust or something like that, and they won't really make a PvE version, and a lot of people that play PvE you won't hear people. It's just from what I notice is like most people won't necessarily complain that there's a PvE, but when you have a PvE game with no PvP, oh my God, you have people coming out the woodwork like there needs to be a PvP. There needs to be a PvP. Like I'll give you an example. My No Man's Sky. Whenever I'm on the forums of No Man's Sky, you always have like a couple of people that are like chiming in and bashing it and be like, this game sucks because it doesn't have a PvP. And everybody unanimously goes, we don't want it. We don't want your PvP.
Yeah, Helldivers 2 is the same way.
Yeah. Like, it's not like necessary, But I almost feel like games that have PvP should have the PvE option because, it's you build like this really cloud of toxicity in the game, and the game is it's like the game is creating it, and also the people are contributing to it. Like, and I give you an example. Last Oasis, the game Last Oasis, which
Yeah, I
I
played that.
loved. I loved that game. I thought that game was so amazing, but I could not play it because the toxicity was just off the charts. You know, I would be like just starting out, and I would gather a few things, and it was a cool looking game. It played cool, and then I would just get like completely eviscerated by some guy with a hat, with, like, you know, with the biggest tank or whatever, and
Yeah,
he would
like
just take
that
me
had
out.
nothing, would gain
Nothing better
nothing
to do.
from just
Like, there's
taking you
nothing I
out.
have that you need,
Yeah,
you know, and it just got so bad where, like, listen, if you don't have a PVE option, I just can't play this game. I just can't.
yeah.
And I don't think that game is doing too well right now. Actually, I
No.
thought it, you know, like, nobody was playing it for a while, and yeah,
Well,
I
it's
mean,
got that connotation of its its audience precedes itself, I guess. It's like, don't play that; it's too toxic. I mean, that's what I
right,
hear about it now.
yeah,
So yeah, you can get to that point, and if even like something like Sea of Thieves,
yeah,
you know, for years, and I've always felt like it would be that would be a game that would be perfectly fine with just a co-op experience,
uh-huh,
because you have enemies in the world that you fight, and even ships and
mm-hmm,
stuff. And eventually they made you can just create your own like kind of server, invite your friends, and you don't have to worry about anybody taking your stuff.
yeah, mm-hmm,
But it's too late. I think that if they had added that way,
yeah,
a long time ago, that it would have that cultivated audience of PvP and PvE.
yeah,
Now when I tell people, like, I don't play Sea of Thieves because I don't like to get I don't like to get attacked by other players, and it's like, and I go,
yeah,
well, they have a PvE mode now, and they're like, oh, really? Like,
yeah,
it doesn't matter now. I think they
right,
really missed the mark on that.
right,
But like Helldivers 2 is also a game that people are like, this needs PvP, and the developers came out and said, no, nope,
yeah,
no, we're not. We have no plans to make PvP for this ever. It is a co-op
mm-hmm,
experience. So basically, shut the
right,
fuck up. Just like let it
right,
go. Just stop it.
right,
I think they
yeah,
were just getting tired of people, just hammering them on getting a
right,
PvP mode. But yeah,
yeah,
totally agree
yeah.
with
No,
you.
it's crazy.
Well,
Anyway, so what have you been playing? Tell us,
this
because I
this
think
is
Liam is
this is
level 86 right now.
he probably is. Well, I did talk to Liam last night about this, and he's played it too. And I think we played about the same amount of time, and we kind of have similar. But I really wanted him to come in and kind of give his impression first, and then.
Yeah.
But obviously, we're talking about Dragon Age: The Veilguard, which is the fourth in the series, and this game it's very divisive.
Mm.
To me, it before I go into this, it's interesting because if you look at this kind of from a perspective of just outside of the discourse of the game, this is genius. I think it's genius how they did this. They announced the game, they give a trailer, and it's very Fortnite-y looking. I think we all agreed with it. That first trailer was like, this is really goofy, Marvel animated feature kind of looking thing.
Okay.
And then, but it got a lot of attention. And then they release another gameplay trailer, which is much darker. And then it's like, oh, well, that got attention to the people that like Dragon Age. Okay, and then they go ahead and they release the character creation, which showed, of course, and we talked about it on the show, like the top surgery scars and the
Yeah.
I think there was like stretch marks and just
Yeah.
things you don't typically see in an RPG. Okay, so
Yeah.
that was a whole discussion, and that kind of blew up, and then it went away, right? So they kind of like put that out there and just let that get over before they release the game. So and then they release another trailer, which looked better in my opinion. They showed like actual gameplay and stuff, and it did look better. So then they give they get a bunch of people to review the game. They show them, like, I think it was 4 slivers of the game. So now everybody has. Let me rewind that. It's showing all my information. So they all review it. They all have like different viewpoints on it. Some people are super excited about it. Some people are kind of like, yeah, what I played looked good, but I'm still kind of on a reservation. So then the people that were like, this is incredible, I cannot wait to play it, they got a review copy. The people that said, I'm kind of concerned about this, and this, didn't get a review copy. Now, there's nothing really wrong with that. They can give the review copy to whoever they want, but they just seem to give the review copy to people that fell in line with the, modern narrative that they're trying to portray in the game. Obviously, to make sure that they get the best possible scores when this thing launched. I mean, who's ever doing this is a genius. This is like, and you can't, if you're arguing about top surgery scars and trans and you're not seeing the big picture. This is, they're optimizing the shit out of this release. So whoever's doing that, hats off. You're doing a fantastic job. But after playing this, I did not buy this game. I did not get it for free. Obviously, I'm not getting anything for free. I know you're not. Nobody's sending us shit. But I did get I upgraded my EA Play. So I got this for like $17, I guess, and I put about 8 hours into it. I created 2 characters, and so this is my impression. I broke it up after last week talking about Batman. We went back and listened. It's like that was like the worst. Like Batman, like you got grapple and punch, and you can punch and grapple, and it's VR. And I'm like, wow, that was great talk, idiot. So I actually wrote this shit down. So we're gonna go through this. And David, you're not familiar with Dragon Age, so I'll give you kind of just a quick synopsis. The first Dragon Age, BioWare was making, they had licensed games for Dungeons and Dragons. So they had to follow the Dungeons and Dragons rules for their games. And the 2 doctors that created BioWare didn't want to do that anymore. Probably didn't want to work with Wizards of the Coast anymore, because I think at that time they were pretty sufferable. So they wanted to make their own IP, their own role-playing game, and thus Dragon Age was born. So you have... it is a dark fantasy about, darkness taking over the world, and you have these Grey Wardens that can, like fight it back, and just very obviously obscure description of this. But in the interim, the RPG, you have characters that you meet and you interact with, and you go on adventures, and you tackle quests and side quests, and ultimately you have different endings. And some people die, some people live, and then you have Dragon Age 2, which was basically the same thing, but it had completely different dynamics, and a lot of people liked it. Inquisition was, they added more open world to it, and they also added like you had a keep that you had to go in and actually manage and do things with. It was a much larger game in the sense of mechanics and role-playing, and I loved it. I played and finished 1. I played 2, didn't finish it. I played Inquisition. I played it all the way through. I got a great ending. But they did have the DLC. They had kind of which I didn't play, a cliffhanger to the bad guy, Solus. So this supposedly picks up where that left off in a way, and it's been 10 years. So a lot has transpired in gaming since then, obviously. This is not the same people that made the previous Dragon Age games. The founders of BioWare have long left. Nobody that worked on those games worked on Veilguard. So everybody's saying that BioWare's back and BioWare this and BioWare... This is not BioWare. This is not the BioWare that you grew up on. It's I wish everybody would stop saying that. Bungie is not the same people you grew up on. It's just, they're people, not a studio. And it kind of shows. So the pros of what I liked about Veilguard, I want to start with those because I do have some. If this is your first RPG, this could be a really good introduction to RPGs, like real RPGs, like creating a character, having a role, you making decisions that ultimately change the game itself. It's very easy to get into. It's not really that deep like the other ones. So and the action, the gameplay is a lot more visceral and kind of Marvelish, I guess you could say, than previous titles. You know. And of course, if you are a trans person, this is probably something that, and you like in video games, then this is probably a must play. It also is, it's very polished. Like this game, I encountered no bugs. I thought I was having some issues with my controller, but ended up being my mouse. For some reason, I had a mouse that was like freaking out, and I turned it off, and it worked perfectly fine. I'm playing this on a 3060 Ti, and it runs great. I've had no frame rate issues. It works.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really refreshing. I mean, I've had no issues with it, and I haven't heard anybody that said they've had any bugs or anything, which is like phenomenal. The game locations are very detailed. They're very magical. They're very pretty. They're not in line with some of the previous locations in the other titles that were a little darker, but they are nice to look at. There are some vistas that you can go to and go, wow, this game is really pretty. So, and I'm pretty sure they're using the Frostbite engine. So, it does have some good stuff. The UI is easy to use, especially I think for people that are new to having a main character and then having to manage other characters like in your party. You don't have to use them, but if you do, it makes it very easy. I'm not fond of the way it looks. I think it's a little bit too much on screen. Could be a little bit more refined, but just holding down a button and just clicking on something and your character does it. It's done really well. So I played a rogue and a mage, and the combat for both, it's fun, it's furious, it's very impactful, it's very actiony. You have several attacks via melee and magic, depending on your character. They're easy to pull off, and you even have like supers. So you have like you could have like a you can use your swords and then your bow and arrow, and then for each your swords you can have a special attack. Your bow you can have a special attack, and then when those are drained, you can hit your super and you get a big. It feels very Destiny in that sense, but it's all easy to pull off. And with it tells you when it comes up and tells you, hey, this is your cooldown is up. You can use this. You can use this. You can use this. The enemies are, so far within my playthrough, they're fine. I understand that later in the game, I think that's pretty much it. Like within 8 hours, you've pretty much seen everything, but that's more of a con than a pro. So that's what I'm enjoying about it. Also the hair and the clothing mechanics, the physics look really good. Like when somebody turns, their hair looks very natural, their clothing looks very natural. It's really well done. Okay, so
now I don't know if you said this. Is it the combat? Is it turn based?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very. Think if you and I use Destiny as probably the closest to it.
Is it third person?
It is third person. But you do have you could just hit A and just do your main attack on everything until it's dead. You don't have to, but you do have special attacks, like I said, that have cooldowns and come back up, much like Destiny.
Or like Fable.
Yeah, well, Fable had more of a well, you have right. So you would have the rogue. You have two swords and you have a bow. And then you have special attacks. Right. So you have this never-ending cooldown of attacks that you can do. Plus, it looks the animations and everything look really cool because you can flip and stuff. And like I said, watching it is very interesting. and having the multiple attacks can be interesting. But I can get
Nice.
I'll get into the cons because a little bit later it's not so much. So, and again, this is not a full review. Obviously, this is my 8 hours of it.
Yeah.
I don't think I have time to finish this game. I've understood it's like 80 to 100 hours, and this is not something I probably want to finish anyway. So on the con side,
Wait.
what's that?
Is that Liam? Is he coming? Is he really coming?
Maybe. We'll see if. Let me ask him. Oh, he's not feeling well. Okay. No problem.
All right. Zombies made him dizzy.
Yep. Next week, my friend. All right. So, and I think this is not just me, but the characters, like your main character, the characters in the game, they can look a little Shrek like DreamWorks like someone actually showed a picture of, I think it was Prince Charming from Shrek 2, and it's like you could totally make that character and he would look just like that. So that does very much weigh on the dark
Aesthetic
fantasy of what it used to look like. Like in the first one, man, you would get in a fight and then in the cutscene you would have blood like all over you. I mean, you just it was so very
big kid it down a little bit.
A lot. Yeah. It's almost like Fortnite the RPG in that way. So it's a little off-putting.
Nintendo-fied it, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's again, I think it's the characters just look soft. Is really the best word I could use. They look soft and they look just very approachable, I guess. Like no character comes on screen. You're like, oh, this guy is super evil, or oh, this guy is like super good. They're just really benign and I don't know, uninspiring looking, really. The conversations are, in my opinion, very dull. Because really, it's like you have three options of being nice. You can't be a dick and tell somebody off. You really can't say anything that would be offensive to another party member. The conversations that they have and the way they talk and the way your character talks to them is like watching an HR video at work. Like of people like, here's how, Stan and Clarice, talk. Yeah, this is how you communicate in the break room. And it's exactly that. I hate to say that, but it does. It just feel like I'm, I should be taking notes because at the end it's going to pop up with that, how did Stan make Clarice feel? And, but anyway, and then this is I think when I got the upgrade and play and you play it in that, you get the deluxe version, because when you create a character and you go into a certain area, there's like a stash, and when you go into the stash it starts unlocking all this armor, but it's not armor, it's like what's the word, it's just a coating for your armor. It's just what's the word I'm thinking of, like in Destiny when you have something that you can put on your armor to make it look like something else, but it's not actually that.
Like a transmogrify or something like that.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So you get a bunch of those. So it's like you can kind of see what your later armor can look like. And holy shit, I mean, it's like, it made me think of like Drag Age, the Vegas show, It was like a lot of it, it's just so flamboyant. And so like, I could not fight in that. There's one that looks like the original armor, and the rest of it is just so, again, that doesn't affect gameplay or anything, but you want your character to look badass, and nothing in none of it, like nothing that anybody that anybody is wearing makes me think, holy shit, that mage is a badass, or that rogue is a bad. It just looks so overdone. And there's one character that has like this hat on that has a square on it, and you've probably seen her in the trailers, and I'm like, it bugs the shit out of me, and this is the way my brain works. because it's like if you're wearing that hat and you're in combat, you cannot see jack shit on the left side of your face. Like you can't see anything. Like why would you wear that in battle or at all? Like it's just like cover your left eye. And every time I see that, I'm like, it's just such a weird choice in aesthetics. And everybody's costume is like very ornate and very like there's like 40 layers. You know, so you start out just wearing like these rags with this ragged cape, and I'm like, I'm sticking with that. It's black. It looks cool when you flip around. Yeah. So far I haven't really upgraded anything. But again, I mean that's a con. That can be a con or a pro, depending on how you look at it. So I'm gonna leave it as that. Yeah. Okay. So next
I do like games that do that though, like where you can change the look of your armor if there is because there are times when I really like that first armor you get, or it's, but I want it to be as powerful as the good armor.
Right.
So sometimes I like games that do that, or sometimes like they do it where like you have like a fancy helmet, and I don't like the look of the helmet, but I still want the buff of the helmet, and they make it so that you can make it so that it's no helmet.
Right. Yeah. You can do this. Yeah. You can actually do that with your armor. You can like have this on and then not show your armor, so you can look however you want. Yeah. I do like that. It gives you an option because I always think of like Witcher 3, where you start off with this badass looking chainmail black armor, and then like 20 hours in the game you look like a court jester. Like with this patched work, and like, what the fuck am I wearing?
Yeah.
It's because it's better,
Or I spend so much time like trying to make my character look cool, like in that first 20 minutes of editing his face and everything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, now I got to put on a helmet. I don't even see the character that I made.
Right.
I'm like, I don't like that. I want to see the thing that I made.
Yeah, so, and this does it very well. I mean, it is third person, and it gives you options there to make your character look. And you can also, like the way your character looks, like hair and stuff, you can change that in game.
Right.
And
That's cool.
Oddly enough, you can also change. You can like about 2 hours into the game, you can become trans. So there's an option like a mirror that you can pick up and go, hey, I feel like maybe I'm a different gender, and which is, I mean, okay. I mean, at least it wasn't, at least it's in game and it's a magic mirror, but it just seems odd that you would spend all that time creating a character only to go, nope, whatever.
I think I really feel like I need a nice rack right now.
Yeah. I think I want some. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I could use a dick. No, like really, like I really want one like right now. So anyway, all right. So everything in this game is basically told to you and handed to you, like you're an infant. And this goes back to the pro, where it's like if you've never played an RPG, this is how you can get into it. There's a party member. A party member will, and they'll tell you what you need to do in a new section before you even enter the section. You know what I mean? Like there's like you walk into this new section and someone go, hey, I bet you can use that giant crossbow to break that obviously out of place smooth wall right there. And I'm like, oh, that up there that I haven't even seen yet. Oh, okay. Yeah. Gee, thanks. I was not able to figure that out. Or you come to these doors and they've got like these pillars, and there'll be like a floating crystal on one. And before you can even try to see if the door's locked, because it is, but you have to try it, right? They're like, oh, I bet you can find another one of those crystals, and I bet it opens the door. And you're thinking, okay, well, that's just a tutorial, right? That's just, okay, I get it. No. Every time. Every single time. You go to a door. There's another crystal around here, probably over there somewhere. I mean, it does not give you any... It assumes that you have never played a game before, and you and also that you were in an accident and they had to take half your brain out. So, and it's kind of insulting, especially for somebody that spent a lot of time playing, role playing games. And if you, and there's somebody's going to listen to this and like, oh, I don't mind that. Play it. I guarantee you, after hour 3, you're going to want to strangle that
Yeah.
character. Like, shut the fuck up. I know what I'm doing. It's kind of like, and you probably know this. It's like driving to the mall with your wife,
Yeah.
and she's like telling you how fast you're going. It's like, and which entrance to take, and it's like, slow down because there's a speed
Yeah.
bump, and you're like,
Yeah.
thanks, I've never
Let me
driven before.
drive.
Right, I've never driven a car before. And I'm saying that because just like your wife, she's not intending to insult your intelligence. She's
Right.
it's just giving you that information so that you don't get lost. You don't get
Right.
you don't get sidetracked from what you're supposed to be doing. And I can tell that it's not intentional, but it's also
Annoying.
it's also something where I wish you can turn off. You can go into the menu and turn off all the highlights and the markers. So instead of all this stuff popping up on your screen, you can turn all that off and find it yourself. But again, you don't have to, because as soon as you walk into the area, they're like, "Hey, what's that over there?" I'm like shit, I haven't even looked. I haven't moved my stick over to that direction yet. So exploration is like they just spoon feed it to you. So animations are good, but oddly enough, walking around there, it's a little weird. I've run into some things like if you're going this way, they all of a sudden just kind of want to go that way, and then you go back this way. It's like over responsive at just random times. And I don't think that's a bug. I think it's just the way that they have the third person camera. In combat, I don't really experience that at all. It's really just like walking around, which is strange. Okay, so locations, I said they were pretty and everything, but they're also very tight. They're purposefully linear. Like you're on a obvious path. Like everywhere you go, there's not many areas where you can just look around and see the horizon. They don't do that. There really is no horizon. You're always looking at a wall, probably 75% of your area. And I mean, they still look good, but it makes like exploration, like you can walk into an area and go, oh, there's something there, there's something there, and there's something there, and you go get those, and that's your exploration. You just completed it. There's not like anything you can like go around or go over that I've experienced yet. There are a couple of puzzles that you can do. You don't have to, but you can kind of do them, and then which are just extra. But even then, it's like, oh, they tell you exactly how to do it.
Yeah.
So I like the exploration. I like kind of getting caught up in this world and the scenery and everything. And it really just, it's so confining. It really just doesn't give you that option. That could also be to help frame rate, to make frame rate much better, since you're not having to draw everything. And again, so you don't get lost. It's like it's maybe made for IGN. Like it just it's just like, here you go here. Okay, give us a review. So let's see. The characters, I don't like one character. I have not met one character I like. Not one. They're all either plucky or overconfident or both. There's no in between. Now I haven't met all the characters, so that's not really a fair assessment. But the ones so far, 8 hours into it, is just they talk all the time, and it's usually about nothing. And then when you do talk to them about stuff, there's only very few times when it actually pertains to the game and what you're doing. It's really annoying. The game feels like it is made for one group of people, not RPG fans, and especially not fans of the series. I think that's I think anybody that's played the previous games can tell that this really isn't made for them. It really does feel like it's made for gaming journalists and the LGBTQ community. I mean, I think it feels like it's tailored to them, which is odd. I mean, it's I get that, but at the same time, it just seems like if you've got an established franchise, why not make it for as many people as possible, and just keep that stuff out of it, especially as a fantasy RPG, so that you can max. And this is just a business thing, not my political ideals or anything, but just so you can maximize the sale of the game. Like, I don't understand why companies keep doing this. They seem to be like, okay, so, we have like, what, 6 million fans? So 6 million fans that aren't going to buy this because somebody said it was woke. Okay, we're good with that. Like, who makes that decision, you know? It's like, if you don't want that money, that's fine, you know? We don't have to buy these games. Nothing in this so far has really detracted me from the game itself. Like, I'm not liking this game because of those things. As I'm staying here, there are things to like about this game. I think this is a good game. I really do. I mean, it's polished. It's well done. It's not a great game though. I mean, it's a game of the year. Not at all for me. I really do think that if you can get past this interjection of this stuff, and you want to try an RPG that that you may not have tried an RPG before, this may be the one. I mean, I'm enjoying it to some extent for the combat and the little bit of exploration, because right now there's really nothing like this to play. If there was another RPG, like if Avowed came out right now, I would not be talking about this game at all. I would be neck deep in Avowed. The writing is really bad. Like, the writing in general is just bad. The character conversations, the story, how the story is flowing, just not a good introduction. And again, the characters, I just don't like it. I'll probably play a little bit more, but I've got a month. I'm not gonna buy this game. There's nothing about this game as an RPG that other RPGs don't do better. So, if you play this game and you like it, I think if you like this and you like the RPG mechanics and everything, there are better games to play. But it does kind of insult your intelligence, It's like watching a kid's movie. It's like it insults you the way that watching a movie with your kids does. But it doesn't do it on purpose. It's just not meant for you, Right. It's not meant for that guy that's like sunk, multiple thousands of hours in the Skyrim, And it's not the Dragon Age you wanted. It just isn't.
Now, did you play the Inquisition one?
Oh, yeah, I finished it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I played it when it came out. I don't think I played anything else until I finished it. I played that game like every day. I absolutely loved it.
You know what's funny is I started, when you were talking about, when you said Inquisition, I looked up Inquisition and I looked at the cover art and I was like, wait a minute, I played this game.
Yeah.
And then I realized I used to play the multiplayer of this game, the 4-player.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I played that a lot.
Did you? I did too. Yeah.
I never played the story though. Like, I never bothered to play the story because I was just too busy playing the multiplayer thing. And
I really like the story. I really like the story. I like. There's. I mean, it's not a perfect game, obviously. There's, the combat can be repetitive.
Well, it's old.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember playing it for the.
It's 10 years old.
For 360 or.
No, they did have it for 360, but it was it came out on the PS4 and the Xbox One. I played it on PS4 and completed it on PS4. I think I later bought it on. I've got it now on PC. Maybe I should just go back and play that.
Maybe it was Xbox One that I played it on. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, the multiplayer was.
It was fun.
It was fun. It was simple, but it was just dungeon crawling basically.
Character. Yeah.
I remember I always played the dwarf. Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that. This does not have any multiplayer. Nor I think they just released. They're not. There's no DLC for this one as well. Yeah, I think they've just put this out and they're just going to move on. It needed to be released. They needed to finish it so that they can work on Mass Effect. But playing this, seeing what they've done with an established franchise, I'm not excited about Mass Effect at all. I just think that BioWare is gone, and we're just not going to get games like that anymore from these AAA titles. But I feel I think it's going to sell okay because of reviews. It's not going to be a breakout. Like I just checked it on SteamDB, and on SteamDB it was like peaked at like 72,000 players, which is that's not good. I mean it's okay, but it's not good. It's not great.
Right.
I mean was it Monster Hunter Wilds beta hit, and in like 4 hours it had like 350,000 people playing it. So if that gives you any kind of reference, you know.
Yeah.
But it's I just don't think, I think because of this political ideology that they've put into it, I think it's just a business wise, I think it's a mistake, because I think it really dates this game. Like this is a fantasy role-playing RPG, you know. Imagine if like Skyrim had Sublime soundtrack in it, you know. You know what I mean? I mean, like it really dates like when this was made, and I just don't think it's going to age well. I don't think it's going to be 10 years from now they're going to be like, you know, we really need another Dragon Age Veilguard. No, I really don't. I think this game is going to get forgotten, and it's just going to get tossed aside, and any conversations about it really are going to be what they put in the game. And that's really just sad, because I could tell that a lot of people worked on this game and were obviously passionate about the environment and you know, the content that's in it, the technology, but you know, and if the story is just, if you want a good RPG, I mean, try out Pillars of Eternity. It's on Game Pass. It's an excellent RPG, and it's a true RPG, and it doesn't insult your intelligence by any means. But it is, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna play a little bit more. I'll probably stream it. I streamed it my first playthrough, but because of technical issues, I had to delete it because it looked very unprofessional. And you know, I've got to uphold that super.
My best face forward here.
That's right. You know, I've been doing this for a couple of months. But yeah. So that's it. I mean, there's some good and there's bad to it. I just it is a little bit disappointing for me.
Yeah, when you were saying about adding this into the game, like it's unnecessary. It kind of reminds me of it can go both ways, because it kind of reminds me of like I think a few years back I went to Renaissance Fair up here in upstate New York.
Yeah.
And
get a turkey leg.
I hadn't gone for years, like since I was a kid.
Yeah.
But I went this time. I was a lot older, and so many people go to Renaissance Fair like it's Comic-Con. Like they're dressed as dwarves and elves and all this shit. Yeah. And I'm just like, I mean, this is cool and all, but like, that didn't exist in I mean, this is the Renaissance Fair. This has to do with a time period that doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
This isn't fantasy. Like, I mean, I guess it is fantasy.
It's that, like, yeah, it was originally like you're supposed to like experience how it was at that time, and now it's like somebody shows up as somebody shows
up as like
from Assassin's Creed.
Or they dress up as like Ryu from Street Fighter, and I'm like, this does not even exist here. Like, what are you doing here? What are you doing here?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm an elf. There's no elves.
Well, that's what it feels like. Even not even outside of the political ideology, it feels like it's in Fextra Life, who I one of the few YouTube reviewers that I really respect. He said that it was like a cosplay of Dragon Age.
Right.
Like this wasn't the Dragon Age. This is just people cosplaying Dragon Age. Right. And the fiction itself, this is my own, it's not his, but it feels like fan fiction to me, and not a true Dragon Age story. Right. But again, this is a very giant, huge game, and I've spent a very small amount of time with it. But, and I only played it so that I could talk about it. so I could experience like what is everybody talking about. And there are some things that are coming out now that people are experiencing that are very much, even more so, dating it in today. Like one of the characters is non-binary, and they're having a conversation with their parent, and trying to explain to them that they're non-binary, and their parents just not buying it. I didn't mean to make a pun out of that, but and that I just don't think, it's like the world's coming to an end. Like, do you really need to have this conversation right now? Like, it just doesn't. It seems really out of place, and I just don't think it's going to age the game well. But yeah, Renaissance Fair and seeing, fucking Tron show up, with his disc, and it's just kind of ruins it. That's
what is happening here.
Yeah. That's kind of how jarring this stuff is. It's like, wow, this is like really like what's the game that Liam likes, Stranger. Dang, I can't think of it. It's way too early. But anyway, there's a game that one of the characters goes through that, but it's now. It's not in a fantasy role-playing scenario. Right. It's like in modern times and now, and it seems it fits perfectly. Right. But here it doesn't fit. I'm sorry. Right.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I get it.
So maybe we'll hear from Liam. Maybe Liam will have a completely different view on this. He may play more of it. I don't know, but we'll see.
I love it. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's great. I love the story. He said he loved the story of Suicide Squad. I think we both was like, what? Like, maybe I need to go back and see what the story is, but because I just saw him shoot Batman, I wasn't happy with that. So moving on, we just have one thing, and I don't remember if we really talked about this. I don't think we did, but Sony did close Firewalk Studios. We kind of knew this was going to happen. There was some rumblings about it coming back in free to play, and
right, because they were going to update.
Yeah, I mean, when you have 7,000 people playing your $200 million game, I don't know. Yeah, it just I hate to say it, but I think that maybe in the long run that could have been something, but you got to look at it like we talked about last week with Netflix closing their AAA gaming studio. This may be why they may have had something similar to this, and then saw it come out, and then look at it like we can't take that loss. How much have we spent now? We can take that loss, but we can't continue this for 3 more years. Do you lose 20 million now or 200 million later?
Yeah,
it's a gamble, and these studios need to start making new shit, man. I mean, seriously, like don't spend 4 years making something that is popular right now.
Yeah,
like no, that's.
I think I was reading online somewhere that that PlayStation isn't really doing anything right now, but like Xbox putting out Call of Duty 6 on Game Pass. Like, I think Call of Duty had the best release ever because it was on Game Pass, and Xbox got a lot more Game Pass subscribers because of that, and they're doing good on that front.
Mm-hmm.
I think hardware sales are down across the board, PlayStation and Xbox. Yeah. Nobody's buying any hardware.
Well, I mean, the Pro is about to come out. I think it's going to come out this week. Mm-hmm. I think. So that might have something to do with it. But I went to Target and I could still pre-order one. I went to Target.com and it's like, oh, here it is. You can pre-order it. So it's not. They haven't sold out. They're not selling out of this thing. Right. You got the hardcore that bleed blue that are going to buy it. And everybody else is like, man, dude, I can barely make a sandwich right now.
Yeah.
Especially we've got an election coming up, and then that's going to affect prices and stuff.
Yeah. There's a lot going on right now.
Yeah, probably not the best time to release a new console, but yeah, I'm hearing things too about Sony just not really. They kind of went all in on this stuff, and now they're pulling almost completely back. They've got 6 studios that are working on stuff, and now 5. and that may change as well. We may see more layoffs, more closures, and I don't know. I think that Sony is struggling with its own identity, and they don't really know where to go from here. They've spent all this money on these throwaway games that they're not making any money on after they release, and they did invest in long-term games like Xbox did, and they don't have the capital to buy anything like Activision right now because their stock is garbage. Yeah. So, yeah, it's not looking great.
It's a weird
for those
time
guys
right now.
It is. I mean, with the PS3, it was odd to see when it came out, and it kind of bombed a little bit, mostly because of the price. That was hard to see after the PlayStation 2. Because it was like, God, that was like still the best console ever made. And now it's not so much what they're releasing in as far as hardware. It's just like, what's your plan? What are you doing? Like, what's going on? I would think Wolverine should be coming out this year, but apparently I've just read that the creative director has left, and they've scrapped a good part of the game, or they're revamping the game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that's just costing them money. So, but yeah, Call of Duty, at least they get that money, but they don't get as much money. I mean, think about it.
Yeah, I think Microsoft takes 70%. I think.
Yeah. Each one sold. So it's selling really well. It's selling really well on Xbox, Steam, and PlayStation. And it's a good Call of Duty though. I mean, it's not selling because of anything Microsoft actually did. It's a good one.
Yeah.
It's especially after the last one I thought was garbage. This one feels really good. So they're doing good stuff. So, but before we get out of here, I wanted to talk about this because last week I talked about Halo 2 anniversary, which is coming up this week. 20 years ago. 20 years ago, I was at a EBX in the mall. So, did you ever do a midnight release? Do you have a favorite midnight release that you remember?
I never did a midnight release. I was always the guy that just waited until the next day, and I went and I got it. But like I will say, even going the next day, there was still that sort of like magic in the air.
Yeah.
It was like that guy that was working there was tired, and he was talking to his coworker about how it was crazy last night. It was so many people here, and there's like I'm still having to wait online even though it's the next day. There's still tons of people who want to buy the game.
I've done that. I've done that too. I've had to wait in line to get it.
And I used to watch video of like how crazy it was, like Gears of War, when Gears of War comes out, and there's a line, midnight release, and everybody's out, So, I do remember the excitement of it was pretty awesome. I gotta say, it was like definitely one of those things.
It's a co-op experience.
Yeah. In real life.
Yeah. Halo 2 was big though. I mean, if you were around then, it was everywhere, man. It was on absolutely everything. I went to the mall, it was EBX, and which was later GameStop when they bought them, but same store basically. But man, they made it so much fun. They would come out, we were all like just kind of standing outside the store. And everybody's talking about, Halo. And even some guys brought some TVs and some Xboxes and were playing. They had like a little LAN party going on. They let them plug the TVs into like these cables that they brought out for them.
Nice.
Yeah, it was great, man. And it was just like everybody's there to get one thing, so you all share that excitement. And it's just great. And you get there and it's like, God, how am I going to stay up until midnight, man? I'm working all day. No, it's just you get there and it's just energized.
It's hyped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you get in and it's like, and they come out and they go, 10 more minutes. And everybody's like, yeah, and they come in and they give you like little freebie stuff, like stickers, just, throwaway shit. Yeah. But they just make they just made it fun. And then you go and there's like a security guard here and a security guard at the door, and you just kind of like, they're like, okay, this way out. You know, they only had one door that they'd open, so you get your shit and you're like, yeah, and you leave and you go to the parking lot, and it's great, man. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you, I've had to go on like a lunch break the day after, and even that, even just being in line, like you go in line, it's kind of the same thing. Everybody there it's like they're obviously, you know. And I went to one, I don't remember what it was, but one guy had a console stuck under his arm and a bag of games. And we all asked him, like, hey, I don't mean to, you know, be all up in your business, but are you trading all that in, like, right now? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, well, can we go in front of you? Because we're here just to get, you know, Call of Duty or Halo or whatever it was.
It's gonna take forever.
And yeah, and he was like, no, I don't have time.
Oh.
And everybody like behind him was like you got to be kidding. Like, that's going to take like 30 minutes and we're all on lunch break, and oh my god. I'm surprised that guy made it to the parking lot, but they did. They both jumped on it and got all his stuff done, and then as soon as they got that, somebody else opened another register, and so they took care of it. But I will say this, Best Buy, God, the Skyrim release for Best Buy. I went to the store. I got there about 10:30, close to 11. There was about 20 people there. We were all outside. Everybody was excited. At midnight, they just came. One guy came to the door and opened the door and just opened it. And we're like, okay. So we came in, and another guy was like, line up right here, have your receipt out, have it ready, and get your stuff. I'm like,
Jesus.
God damn it, we just get arrested? I was like, what the fuck? It's like, so we all got in a line, and yeah, they were like, what? Here, there you go, next. I mean, they were just like, it was so just.
They sucked the life out of it.
They did, man. And it's like, god damn. And I got the big box, you know, with the book and the dragon, you know, nerd ass. And I was walking to my car, and another guy had one too, and I looked over at him, and he had the same look on his face, just like, that was
this is not fun.
I could have waited till tomorrow. And I said, man, I feel like I got cheated. He's like, yeah, man. He said, I'll never do another Best Buy midnight. He said that was miserable, and it was. They did. They sucked all the excitement right out of it. Yeah. They just wanted to get everybody's shit and get out of there and go home, and I get that, right. But
the whole part of it is the experience of.
It is, you know. Yeah. And if they're excited, you're excited. You're excited, they're excited. You know. Yeah. Just like EBX, they'd come out every 15 or 10 minutes, you know, and have that countdown. It's like, who's ready? Yeah. He's like, yeah. It's like, gotta wait 10 more minutes. And they're like, you know.
Yeah. So I kind of liken it to like waiting online at some of these concerts that I used to go to in New York when a metal band would show up, and there'd be a long line to get in. People would get in an hour early, and they'd wait online, and you got all these people who like the same kind of music as you. You know what I mean? And, And if you've been to enough shows and you get online, you start recognizing faces, and you start saying, "Hey man, what's up?"
I've done that.
And it's like there's that camaraderie, and there's you would get like nasty looks from people like walking by, but it didn't matter because like you had your crew with you. You were with people that were like you, you know. Yeah. And I kind of see it like that, where it's other people you're with other people that like the same game as you, and they have similar lifestyles, I guess. And it's just like an exhilarating feeling to be part of something.
Concert tickets. I remember doing that. You had to go and get in line for concert tickets. And I remember the first time I did that, I don't remember what it was for. It was probably like Rat or something. You know,
round and round.
And me and my friend we were like going to Ticketmaster, and we didn't really know where it was. You know, there's no Google back then. We just knew it was like in this area, and we're like, God, how are we gonna find this thing? And we drove around the corner, and there's this line of like dudes with like long hair and leather,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and black
Be there.
t-shirts, and I'm like, there it is. Like we didn't even ask. It's like we just went and got in line. And
Nice.
and you're right. We saw some of those people. We saw it like Ozzy, Van Halen, Rush.
Yep.
Anybody that came
Yep.
to town. It was like those same people that got there to get
Yep.
the best seats. And that's how you had to do it, man. You had to go there. If you didn't do that, you didn't get good seats.
Yeah.
So
It's it's I guess it was our church. You know what I mean? Like it was our way of meeting people that were like us, and you know, when a band would come into town or a game would come out at midnight, it was like going to church, going to see people who are like
congregate.
us. And,
Yep.
Yeah, we congregate exactly. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I guess the things like that it's still that might exist are what is it, D&D, like when people play D&D,
Yeah.
and they all meet up together, or they play the card games, like they play Magic,
Mm-hmm.
and you have these stores that only they do Magic tournaments, and you got all these people hanging out together.
Yeah, we have a Warhammer store here, and I'm sure they
okay.
have tournaments and stuff there.
Yeah. So I guess that's probably what exists now, but I guess the midnight buying of the games is for history.
Yeah.
It's for Renaissance Fair now.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll right. Maybe they'll
I'm
have,
online to buy this sword. What
right.
are you here
It's
for?
probably, I could see like 100 years from now they'll have like these fake like midnight
Yeah,
releases.
yeah.
Like, are you going to the
Yeah,
midnight release of some
Midnight release
historical
fair?
game? Right. Exactly. Yeah.
I'm going dressed as an elf. What are you
Right.
going dressed as?
I'm going as Tron. It's like,
I'm going as Master Chief.
right. I'm going to be a court jester. Oh yeah, there's no telling. Yeah, they'd probably we're probably like the part of history that's going to get made fun of the most.
Yeah.
Did you remember this shit?
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, but it was good times.
Yeah, it was good times. Good times. All right, well, I think that's it for this week. Thanks for joining us. We'll have Liam back next week, and Christmas is here. I may have my tree up next week, right there.
All right.
Maybe.
Thanksgiving.
I don't know. Depends
Thanksgiving. I love Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving.
Oh, I do too. I love Thanksgiving
holiday.
because I don't have to really do anything. Like there's no shopping or anything involved, and I get 2 days off instead of 1 day off. So if you look at it, like Thanksgiving's, almost better than Christmas. And you get to eat like a ton of food.
Yeah. No,
And-
the eating is the best.
Do you guys cook or?
I think this year, we usually end up going to the wife's parents.
Yeah.
And then sometimes we'll do a double, like we'll go to my family.
Yeah.
But my aunt that lives near me sold her house, so she's going to be moving, and we're not going to be able to do Thanksgiving there. So we were thinking about maybe doing it here at our house.
Yeah. Cool.
So
We've done that. Yeah.
yeah.
Jenny is every year she's like, I'm just making a turkey and some stuffing. That's all we're gonna make. I'm like, okay, but okay, so I'm gonna make turkey stuffing and some casserole because
yams
so
or
and so
something.
likes
Yeah,
that. Yeah, and then I'm gonna make and I'm gonna make this. Yeah, well, I really want to make this because it's not Thanksgiving without. And then before you know it, we have this like the table is covered with food.
Yeah.
Like completely covered, and
It's so good.
But this year we're going to my mom's house, so.
Oh, okay.
It'll just be like we cook one thing and go over there. So that'll be nice. So we can get to actually enjoy it. And I know she'll enjoy it because she'll get to, spend more
She'll
time
make one
Valheiming on Twitch. Valheim Gal at Twitch.
I gotta
Help
get
her out.
on that with her.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's doing good on it.
Yeah. I'm proud of her. All right. So have a great week.
right.
We'll be back next week talking about games and shit. So
Yep.
later.
See you guys on the next one.